So what's your subject?
I told you already. I was waiting for you to say, because I've told you already.
To say what?
Our discussion that I've talked about us doing for a long time. Superheroes. And it involves film. Do you not remember me ever talking about this and wanting to record it?
Those words sound familiar because you said them in the first 5 minutes that we were on the air here, and I had no idea what you were talking about, and I still don't. So, you start. I'll try to keep up.
So, the discussion is whether or not the human race is going to be oversaturated with superhero movies.
No.
What? Okay, hold on. That is no. How can you say that? Marvel.
But simple. You asked the question. I answered it.
Marvel has movies planned all the way to 2020, and that's like 2 to 3 movies a year for Marvel. DC says that they intend on having 9 films come out in their cinematic universe sometime before 2020. And so whenever I hear things like Marvel has movies planned to 2020, it just kind of, I can't put it into words what my mind goes through whenever I hear that. It just kind of turns me off, I guess you could say. It goes, God, we're gonna have that many Marvel movies? Like,
if they stop making Marvel movies, we'll end up not going to the show as much.
But
what's going to take? What's the big nerdy thing that's going to be a big thing to see on screen that would take the place of comic book? I mean, they're making them so well now.
I know. I'm saying right now this is the golden age of the cinematic universe.
We might not have reached a golden age yet. This still might be in ascendance. We just had can't possibly get bigger than Avengers, right? So those are all established characters. They built up to this, and now this year they dropped this obscure title with a machine gun carrying raccoon and a tree that says 3 words, and it's a huge hit.
5.
So the Marvel, I Am Groot. 4.
We Are Groot.
Okay, that's 4. I Am Groot and We Are. Okay, so anyway.
5. I Am Groot, We Are Groot.
Oh, that doesn't count. Okay, so anyway. But here, you drop the... And here you're being the pedant again, totally derailing the point and missing the entire point of the statement.
Continue. I did that on purpose to see if you would notice. Anyway, continue. Obscure...
And it's a huge blockbuster. So, to say that people are going to get tired of this, I don't think we've reached a peak yet.
I'm not saying that they're going to get tired of it next year or something. I'm saying by 2020, I think the market might just get tired of it after a while.
The only way they're going to get tired of it is if there's a string of really bad.
It's just...
if everything coming out was as disappointing as Daredevil and the second Ghost Rider movie or The Punisher,
the first Ghost Rider movie.
If that was the level of movie we were getting out of the comic book franchises, yeah, that would get old quick because nobody would turn out to see that. Nobody would really look forward to it. But they're telling new stories with old characters. They're bringing characters that have never even thought of seeing screen time out onto the screen, and they're doing great writing. It's great production value, and people of all stripes are turning out for it, and it's appealing to people my age that have been collecting for years and years and years, and people your age that have just begun finding this stuff.
Yeah, and then there's DC, who's like, yeah, we still can't do a Wonder Woman movie. It's like...
But there's going to be one someday.
And also, whenever you think about it, if there is...
So that's really not an argument that it's reached its apex yet. There's still so many more places to go. There's still a whole genre of female superhero to be exploited.
I know. I'm not. That wasn't an argument.
Exploited was not the right word there, but to be
they've already been exploited on the internet by fans.
To be mined, and that still might not be the best word. There's a whole
for their resources.
The women haven't arrived yet,
Um,
and they will. And when they do, if they've got to be written well and have plausible people carrying out the roles and everything, just like in the Batman and Superman movies.
We're getting Jennifer Jones or whatever as a Netflix TV series from Marvel.
Okay, and that's a complete mystery to me. I have no idea what Jennifer Jones is.
I don't remember if that's the actual name or not, but it's something stupid like that. It's a completely forgettable name.
But so with something like that, there's no expectation. So, if it comes out and it ties well into the universe and they've made an interesting character, it's a win-win. They haven't destroyed a beloved character, and nobody really knows what to expect, except for people that are really dialed into whatever she is in the comic book world.
The thing is, though, is that whenever you look at how many movies Marvel pumps out, it's like, unless it's an Avengers year, whenever an Avengers movie comes out, and this is just the Disney Marvel cinematic universe, they crank out like 2 movies a year. So what we know of so far is they have movies planned to 2020, and we know there's one Avengers movie in there. So this is 2000, let's not count 2015. So we've got 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. Let's just assume Avengers 3 comes out 2020.
I was assuming we weren't going to skip any of the years.
Shut up. Let's just assume that Avengers comes out 2020 and not Avengers 3, and not any of these years in between. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 more films to add on to an already 9-film universe, soon to be 10. We'll have 19 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. For all we know, there could be 2 or 3 more X-Men movies somehow fit into there. There is the 3rd Amazing Spider-Man movie being planned to come out during that time. There's the Sinister Six spinoff and the Venom spinoff being planned to be put in there. There is 9 DC movies to be put in there. There's all the animated straight-to-DVD DC films. There's the 5 TV shows that are going to Netflix, which are assumingly going to have more seasons. Soon, it's also going to be 6 whenever they do a Defenders together team-up thing. It's going to be 7 if you count Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all along with that.
Now, when you only count the superhero movies, that sounds like a lot. But you're also going to have 20 romantic comedies come out every year. You're going to have 100 independent films come out every year. You're going to have these biopics come out, 7 or 8 of those every year. You're going to have screwball comedies, at least 5 a year come out. In the grand scheme of things, the superhero movies are still a small part of what's being released at the theater. And now we're also going to have the Star Wars films coming out, but Disney is going to pace those out so that they're not competing with their other properties. It's not going to be out competing with their Pixar releases, with their Marvel releases, or any of the other things that they're involved with. So it's all going to be paced out. So every month, if you're a nerd, you're going to have something to go see.
But whenever you compare it to my genre of film, the kaiju genre, there's only like 5 films coming out within that time period.
That's got nothing to do with the price of beans on Mars.
Sci-fi films are also, sure, you've got your things like Gravity and Interstellar, and then you've got your totally obscure sci-fi films that come out.
So you're supporting my point that the market's not going to be overrun with superhero movies. It sounds like when you just list the superhero movies that there's a lot coming out, but there's just more movies coming out. And in the grand scheme of things, when you're throwing in even more genres like you've just done, they're an even smaller part of the things being released. So the market's not saturated by any means. There's just a lot available for people that enjoy it.
I just feel like by the time 2020 comes around, there is no way that there will not be a single
No way that there will not be.
Shut up.
There's no way there will not. Go on, finish that thought. I'll try to figure it out.
There will not be
No way that there will not be
a single Marvel film that I hate,
films.
or a single DC film that I hate in between now and then.
There's no way that there will not be any Marvel film that you will not hate.
I said that I will hate.
Okay, so you will. There's no way that there will not be one that you will.
Wait.
There's
that
double
I will not
negative,
hate. There's triple
so-
negative. There's triple negative. Wait.
Hang on. Okay, so you're gonna hate them or you're not gonna hate them?
There's guaranteed there's got to be at least one in between now and then that comes out that I will not like. There's just no way that I will like every single Marvel film.
So what?
I'm just saying, whenever you get Iron Man 3 and everyone jumped onto that, I just have a bad feeling that whenever you get Iron Man 4 and Thor 3 and Captain America 3, those won't be good. And then whenever you add on an Avengers 3...
See, the problem
it will
isn't
just...
that they won't be good. The problem is that someone will say, well, I like the second one better. Well, his pecs looks better in the first movie. Well, he wasn't shirtless enough. Well...
No, you're using Becca as an example now.
Okay.
I'm talking about, like...
But that's what it is that then it goes from being...
Wait, if they're not making Iron Man 4, then there is a definite possibility that Iron Man will die in the new Avengers.
Spoiler.
I am going to call it.
Dead Iron Man Avengers 2. That's what you're saying.
I bet you $20.
Okay, and it's not that these sequels will be bad movies on their own. It's that someone will say, well, the first one was better. Well, the second one was better.
No, there are people that...
I would have gone in a different direction with that. So when you start getting into the later things of the franchise, then it starts being compared to itself. And the whole franchise can be fantastic, but you still pick and choose among the things that are within that franchise.
It's like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But...
Except that this new one's really good.
Dad, I want to get likes. Come on. Don't say it's really good. Just say that it was okay. You liked it.
I did, and I thought it was really good.
God dang it. Is it 10 out of 10 material?
Nobody's ever going to be able to comb their way through your quadruple negative a few minutes ago.
It was triple, okay?
All right. They're going to be lost there. They're going to be rewinding that and never even make it to this part.
I might just split this into two separate things, a Turtles discussion and then discussion.
So it could have been a half-hour podcast?
2 half-hour podcasts recorded at once. Anyway, I could have taken a potty break, God.
Well, if you need one, go ahead.
No, I whatever. Anyway, I'm just saying, so far, they haven't really said that they're going to do anything else but Guardians, but Captain America, but Thor, but Avengers. They're not going to spread out to other movies. They haven't said that they will so far, except for Doctor Strange or something. There's like underused
Doctor
characters.
Strange, they're developing, or they're pitching Black Panther. They're pitching other characters, and for like Iron Fist, he's getting his next Netflix show. You're getting characters that didn't have a successful movie premiere, and then you're also getting characters that really aren't well known enough to get a movie, but they're still bringing in other characters.
So I want to know, when do they start making character exclusive video games and those start tying into the movies? And when does the Marvel Cinematic Universe start making so much money that Fox and Sony just don't even care about their contracts anymore and go, we want to be part of this, put Spider-Man in it for $20 million, and we'll get like a part of the % of the
It
movie.
would be cool if they could work out a Spider-Man Avengers thing.
Who cares about Spider-Man Avengers? The real thing that we want
Me,
is
I'm raising my hand.
Wolverine.
Podcast people that can't see.
Wolverine Avengers. That's what we want to see.
I want to see a Hulk Wolverine movie.
We did. We got Hulk versus Wolverine, the cartoon movie. You and I watched that, remember? It had Deadpool in it. And Sabretooth and
Okay, and
Omega.
now I'm giving him the evil eye. Because he knows that's not what he's being a pedant again.
Yeah.
Movie. I want to see... Mom would really love to see Hugh Jackman and Mark Ruffalo in a movie together.
She'd like to see them kiss also.
No.
I guarantee she would.
No. You're giving everybody the wrong impression of your mother, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
No. No, the great thing about the internet is...
Hey, we're recording. Shut up.
Shut up!
No background noise.
The thing about... The great thing about the internet is that... The great thing about the internet is that you give them an idea of what that person is like. I give them an idea of what I'm like.
Nobody cares. Let's talk about superheroes again.
So then, whenever you finally do get a large fan base, if you've never ever shown your face actually on the channel, you start getting fan art of what you may look like. And I want to see how close they can get.
I'll provide a drawing or two.
Shut up. I want to see how close the internet...
Here is a drawing of Dylan before we had his tail removed.
Anyway, back to the kaiju genre to me. I feel like...
Here's a picture of Dylan before we separated his eyebrows.
I really want to see this fan art now. I want to see this happening. Come on, I want fans now. But going back to the kaiju genre, it's that I feel like the next big thing that's going to happen.
Kaiju, big thing. I'm sorry.
I just threw a car at him.
Didn't hurt.
The next two big genres that I feel like are going to be right up there with like Avengers and just superheroes and stuff will be sci-fi and kaiju, because sci-fi has...
That's pretty darn broad.
Because sci-fi...
I mean, the sci-fi thing.
Hard sci-fi like Star Wars and...
That's not hard sci-fi.
Okay. It's a broad... I mean, like, a broad term for sci-fi from, like, anywhere from Jurassic Park to Star Wars. That's what I mean for sci-fi. Because...
Okay, well, I mean, that's science fiction to space opera.
Technology sci-fi. How about that?
Okay, Star Wars still wouldn't fit into that.
There's lots of technology in it. That's really cool.
It's make-believe technology. It's not science-based. It is
so is
fantasy.
Genetically engineering dinosaur DNA.
Genetic engineering
with frog DNA.
Genetic engineering is a real science. Lightsabers are fantasy. Splicing genes is science. Midichlorians is bullshit.
Okay, technically, the lightsaber is just an overglorified flashlight where there is a light at the bottom of the hilt of the lightsaber, and then you put your crystal on top, and then you put some lenses, and then you put it all together, and then you turn on the lightsaber.
And what makes it stop at a certain point? Absolutely nothing. Fantasy.
The Force. They probably just go, and that's why only Jedi should be able to use lightsabers.
God, you shouldn't do that on the couch. Okay.
but
space, it's a totally different genre than
sci-fi. Whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying sci-fi is going to take the place of Marvel and superheroes. I feel like, and kaiju is also going to be there with them. Because whenever you look at sci-fi, you've got the 6 Star Wars movies coming out, if you count the spin-offs and the new trilogy. You've got Jurassic World coming out, and that's going to be a planned part of a trilogy if it does well. And, you know, I would like to say
I
Ninja
think
Turtles,
they're definitely going to hold their own at the box office, but they're not going to replace or usurp that. They're completely different genres, and, you know, people are familiar with these characters now and are going to come back to see them as long as there's a good story being told and the quality of production is there.
I mean, yeah, but
so they're not going to be replaced. By 2020, if Star Wars is selling 1 billion tickets, they're not going to stop making the movies. They're not going to end these franchises. They're not going to end the franchises until they're no longer profitable.
But we're also heavily hoping on the fact that for 9 more movies, these movies will keep up the same quality.
They seem to know what they're doing. There seems to be good quality control and a good sense of direction with what they're doing, and a continuity among these films that is unprecedented, that has never been achieved before. So, they're in new territory, but they are so solid into it and seem to have such a solid game plan. I've got complete faith we're going to see this project go all the way through, and that by the time we get to 2020, there's going to be a plan for a Phase 4.
You could say a Phase Thor.